In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to create a real estate business plan. Now, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. If you're completely new and you're just starting out, or if you're an experienced entrepreneur or even an expert, if you do not understand the psychology of implementation, then you can have the best business plan in the world, but you're not going to be able to put it into practice. The difference that makes the difference for me, also what we do in the academy, is what I call the Code Reaching Excellence. This is my book and this is my system for taking theory and turning it into reality. So many people know what to do, but they struggle to put things into practice. So there's three things I'm going to share with you in this video. The first thing is the 4 phases of implementation and the Code Reaching Excellence, how to execute and how to put your theory, how to turn all that theoretical knowledge into reality. The second thing I'm going to share with you is why you need to create a compelling vision for life. And the third thing is I'm going to share with you how to actually create that action plan. So let's dive into this. Let me get some slides up. Okay. So here we are. So this is called the 4 phases of implementation. This is something we teach inside the academy. This is a foundational and fundamental principle for anything and everything we do in entrepreneurship. So let's go into this, okay? So look, whenever you go to put something into practice, whether you're learning a new strategy, you're learning a new business strategy, a property strategy, you're going to go through a learning curve. So even before you've put a business plan together, you need to be aware of this stuff. I recently did a podcast and the interviewer was asking me, what's the difference that made the difference for me? How was I able to go from being stuck, not being able to do a deal for 10 years, to then being able to like absolutely smash it and grow a portfolio that was worth £4.5 million. And this is over a decade ago. So by today's value, that's going to be almost double that generated me a 6-figure income. How is it that I've been able to take newbies and get them their first deal in 90 days? How is it that I've been able to take people who are already experienced and take them to the next level? So I'd love to give you like case studies of people like Ron Hazelwood, Duncan Cook, who went out and raised £6 million in private finance. This is the system. So let's dive into this. Now, whenever you go to put something into practice, whether it's a new property strategy or a business plan, you're going to go through a learning curve. In that learning curve, we've got 4 phases. The first stage is called unconscious incompetence. What does that mean? Well, basically, it means that you just don't know what you don't know. The second stage is conscious incompetence. This is when you get to a point where perhaps you've been on a mastermind or you've done some trainings or you've learned some stuff. You then go to put it into practice and you realize it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be. There's things that you don't know. It takes you out your comfort zone. This is where we start to get met with resistance. This is the point where it starts to feel uncomfortable. This is where stress, fear, and overwhelm kick in. This is where we get that resistance. Most people don't know how to break through this stage. When they do, they go through to the next stage, which is where they've learned some stuff, they put some things into practice. At this point, they're conscious of their competence. They know what to do, but they've got to think about it. And then the final stage is what's called unconscious competence, which is where you've been doing something for long enough that it becomes a part of your everyday skill. You do it without thinking. So let's put this into kind of context, okay? Let's think about driving, which is a universal experience that most people have had. Now, I remember when I first learned to drive, I was about 18 years of age. I got into a car with my driving instructor and he said to me, you know, do you know how to drive? Now, in theory, I did, because I'd seen my dad drive. I'd seen lots of people drive. I knew what you had to do. So he said, off you go then. It was down a quiet little back road. I put the car into gear. I lifted my foot off the clutch, dropped the handbrake down, and I stalled the car. The car rolled back a little bit. I panicked. And at that point, I was in a place of stress and overwhelm. I was like, oh, my goodness, I don't know what to do. So although I knew the theory, what I didn't realize at that point was I didn't know how to balance the clutch. So, of course, I had my driving lessons, started to drive, learned how to balance the clutch, passed my test. But when I was driving, even though I passed my test, I had to think about what I was doing. Had I got the biting point right? Was I in the right gear? Did I need to be in second gear when I came to a corner? What did I need to do? Now, eventually, I've been driving for a while and it got to the point where those behaviors became automatic and I got to a place of unconscious competence. So here's the thing. When it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to putting into practice your business plan, your strategy, whether it's a property strategy, a business strategy, people go through what I call the 4 phases of implementation. This is a model I developed. This is based on my experience and also like over a decade of coaching entrepreneurs in property and business, okay? So the first phase, I call it the euphoria phase. This is where you have the conception of a new idea. This is where you decide that you're going to join a mastermind, join a training, you're going to go out and invest in property, you're going to try a business out, etc. Now, this phase is really exciting. It's really inspiring. This is where you get the buzz and the feel good, but there's a problem with this phase. This phase can give us a false sense of achievement. There's so many people I've seen who've been on the first day of their mastermind or they've done their course and they go, great, I'm going to go do this. And then they go to actually put things into practice. They implement their plan or their strategy. And then they get to the second phase, which is what I call the epiphany phase. This is the stage where they start to encounter resistance. So what do I mean by resistance? It's fear, It's stress, it's overwhelm, it's that self-doubt, that negative voice inside your head. This is where people can have a lack of confidence or a crisis of confidence. This is where people start to feel like they're an imposter because in their job or their career, they're top of their game. Now they're at the bottom of this learning curve and they feel out of their depth, out of like their comfort zone. They feel like a beginner. Sometimes we can feel stupid and inadequate. These are feelings that our ego doesn't like. And this is what causes us to procrastinate. This is what kind of keeps us going around in circles. And this is where people really fall foul to shiny penny syndrome, which is where they look back and go, well, maybe this isn't for me. Perhaps I shouldn't be doing property. Perhaps I shouldn't be building a real estate portfolio or whatever the business plan is. And they go back to doing what's comfortable, which is, in this place, sometimes their job or what they're doing looks more attractive to compared to like the discomfort that they're in. Now, this is the really important part. You need to learn how to overcome the resistance, and I'm going to be teaching you that in the next section, okay? So one of the things that we have to do is overcome the resistance and move to the third phase, which is called the evolution phase. This is where you have a big breakthrough. This is where you break through and overcome the stress, the overwhelm, the self-doubt, where you overcome the negative self-talk, where you upgrade your mindset and your belief system. This is where your confidence starts to grow and you overcome all that resistance. But there's a problem here. Now, people start to get results in the evolution phase, but it's very easy for them to hit a plateau. Now, from a learning curve point of view, at this point, they've started to become conscious of their competence. They become conscious of the things that they need to do to close the deals, to find them, to raise money, what strategy, etc. And they've started to get some track record. But when they get to this point, it's very easy to hit that plateau. And this is where we need to go to that next phase, which is what I call the excellence phase. This is where you break through those plateaus and you find new ways to improve and grow your business. And you keep doing this. This is really an attitude and a mindset of focusing on excellence, focusing on being the best version of yourself, focusing on taking your business to that next level. And once you go through this process and you understand it, that's when you develop this unconscious competence, which means you do it without thinking about it. So whenever you see your gurus or your experts or your teachers and your mentors, they've gone through this whole learning curve. They've gone through this 4 phases of implementation and they know how to do it. The thing is, they teach people the strategies, but what people don't always have is a strategy for implementation. So that's the first thing that I'm giving you. This is the 4 phases of implementation. This is fundamentally important for us when it comes to putting together either a business plan and executing it. So let's move on to the next stage, okay? So the next phase, what we need to do, the next thing you need to learn is how to create a compelling vision for life. So many people get caught up and confused and they think that their business is the end goal. It's not. Your business is to get you from where you are now to you living your best life. At the end of the day, if you just focus on property alone and not creating the life that you want, you're not going to have a big enough reason why to succeed and to overcome the resistance that you're inevitably going to face. Now, I work with people from all walks of life. I've got people who are just working average 9-to-5 jobs that are trying to get out of their job and build a passive income and some a property portfolio. I've got other clients of mine that are experts, they're mentors, some of them are CEOs. I even have a client that owns a bank in Dubai. So it doesn't matter where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, where you are in terms of your success. If you're a human being, you're going to go through this stuff. And these are the hidden obstacles that often make people fall over. So inside the Reaching Excellence Academy, we've got a course. It's the Code Reaching Excellence course. And there's a few things that you need to do. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create a very compelling vision for your life. So this means creating a vision board, but it has to be aligned to your core values. That's the things that are super important to you. So most people, it's things like family, it's relationships, it's financial freedom, it's security, it's being able to travel and live a certain lifestyle. So one of the things I do, I encourage my clients to create like a PowerPoint or Google Slides. And on that slide, I want them to put pictures and images that represent them living their best life, because this is your big reason why, okay? So I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of the course. Let's jump into it. So this is what it looks like, okay? This is a course inside the Reaching Excellence Academy. So there's a few things you need to do. So the first thing is you need to create a compelling vision that's aligned to your values. You then need to have a shift in identity. Who do I need to become? Because the mindset and the identity that you have that is in your current situation is not going to get you to where you want to be in terms of your real estate business or any business or any kind of growth that you want to have. So let's say, for example, say if you're an employee, you need to shift yourself from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. So I'm going to talk to you about how you do that. And then what we do from that process is we're going to reverse engineer and create our best life. So let's dive into this. So as I've explained, you need to create that compelling vision for life so you know exactly what you want. So, if you think about it, one of my core values is family and my kids. I want to have time with my kids. I want to make sure that I've got the time to do the things I want to do with them and be there for them and and I guess be there and be present when I raise them. I want to also have experiences for them, and I also want to make sure that I leave a legacy behind for them. The other thing that's really important to me is lifestyle. I enjoy the finer things in life. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy nice restaurants. Health is important to me, so health and fitness. So it's really important that you create a compelling vision that covers all of those aspects. And the reason that you need to do this is because this is a bigger reason than just having a property portfolio. Most people do the things that they think they should do, or try to do the things that they think they should do. But if you think about it, you know what it's like when there's something you think you should do, but you don't want to do it. It's because you're not really that motivated, or sometimes there's some resistance, or there's some discomfort, or there's some fear or stress around doing it. We procrastinate in essence, okay? So when we've got a bigger reason why, a compelling vision for life that's aligned to our core values, those things that we think we should do become a must, because the consequence of not doing those things is far greater than the discomfort that we're going to go through as we go through those 4 phases of implementation. Okay. So look, one thing that we need to do is we need to kind of get this compelling vision of what we want to have in our life, and then we reverse engineer it. So what do I mean by that? Okay. So what I mean by that is that we need to look at the lifestyle that we want to create. And then what we then do is say, what is this going to cost us? What is it going to cost me to quit my job? How much money do I need to have as a financial security measure? And I want to give you a couple of numbers here, okay, or a couple of ways of measuring you living your best life. There's lots of different ways that you can measure it. Tony Robbins talks about lots of different ways, but you've got your financial security, you've got your financial freedom, and you've got your financial wealth. These are 3 aspects that you want to be working for. So financial security is how much money do you need so that you can live comfortably? You pay your bills, you can live comfortably, and you've got a little bit of money left over. Financial freedom is when you've got the security stuff taken care of, all your basic living expenses and some surplus money, but then you can start to live like a real good quality lifestyle. What do I need to do to be able to go and travel? What do I need to do to be able to live the lifestyle that I want? These are all the finer things that you want to have. And then the next level is like wealth and opulence. What do I need to do to be living my best life so I can do my big dreams, my big, the big things I want to achieve in life, the things on my bucket list. So those are the 3 aspects that you need to be thinking about. And I'm going to share with you a tool that we use inside the Academy. It's called the Best Life Calculator. I'm just going to give you a little view of it on the screen. So this calculator, one of the things that it does is it creates those figures. It kind of helps you to calculate what's your security figure, what's your freedom figure, and what's your wealth figure. And these are really important factors, because once you become very clear on what you need for security, freedom, and wealth, that allows us to go to the next stage, which is how we actually build that real estate, that property business plan. So let's dive into that now. So guys, once you've got that figure of what it's going to cost you for your security, what it's going to cost you for your freedom and your wealth, you've got 3 financial goals to achieve. So from that, we're going to reverse engineer the process. So let's say, for example, for you to achieve your security goals, you might need £25,000 a year. That covers your living expenses. That covers all the things that you need to cover so you can live comfortably. You haven't got any stresses. The uncertainty of life and what's going on in the current situation right now doesn't affect you. So let's say £25,000 is the figure. What we then need to do is to create that action plan, is to look at, okay, where are you right now and what do you need to do to achieve that? And it's at this point we start to select the right property strategy, given your level of skill, given your level of financial resources, and the time that you've got available. Now, a lot of people get caught up and they don't know what strategy to use. They think, oh, I'm going to do rent to rent. I'm going to do lease options. I'm going to do flips. Okay. Now, the thing is, you might be able to do some of those strategies, but you've got to ask yourself, is that strategy that you're using going to be able to support you to have the security, the freedom, or the wealth that you want? And at this point here, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. So you have to get very, very clear on the number that you need to achieve your financial freedom goals, and then select the right strategy. And if you're unsure of what strategy to use, you need to find a mentor or someone who can guide you to finding the right strategy based on your time, the levels of money that you've got, and also the resources that you have. So this is part of the process that we go through. And it's at this point you can start mapping out, okay, what do I need to get that £25,000 a year? How many properties do I need? How much cash flow do they need to be giving me? Do I need to be doing just basic buy-to-let stuff with like a £500 a month cash flow? Do I need to be doing stuff that's going to give me a higher yield? Do I need to be getting into HMOs? Do I need to be getting into commercial property? So it's really important that your business plan, your real estate business plan, supports you living your best life. And that's going to help you to choose the right strategy. Now, sometimes most people go for the strategy that they think is going to be the easiest for them or simplest for them to do, because they may not have the skills required to do some other strategies. So, for example, when people don't really know about refurbs or refurbing property, they can sometimes avoid it. So the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy is a great strategy. It's something that I've done lots of, but people can sometimes be put off because there's a gap in their skills around how to do it, how to find the deals, how to price them up, how to price the refurbs. A lot of people can get scared when it comes to doing refurbs because dealing with builders, dealing with the costs, all that thing can be, all those kind of things can be quite scary. And those costs can run out of control if you don't know what to do. So when you decide what is going to be the easiest or the best strategy for you, you have to kind of decide, do you have the skills to do it? And if you haven't got the skill set, you need to plug that gap in your knowledge. So I recently spoke with one of my mentees who's an experienced investor, but she had a little gap in her knowledge. And what we decided to do is to give her some exercises and some things to learn so she can brush up her skills and plug that gap, and she can start to do those deals which are going to give her the money that she wants so she can live her best life. So in order to get to the point where you can put that real estate business plan together, you need to understand three things, okay? Firstly, you need to understand the 4 phases of implementation, the psychology of what you need to do and understand so that you can go out and actually put things into practice. The second thing is you need a big, massive reason why, which is why you have to have a compelling vision for life. Inside the Reaching Excellence Academy, although we teach things like property, we teach things about business and marketing and a whole load of other skills, our ultimate goal is to live our best life. And that's what I want to do. And that's also what I teach my students. That's what I'm encouraging you guys to do as well. Don't just think about property or your business strategy or what you want to do. Think about the lifestyle that you want to create. This is an opportunity for you to design your life. It's to engineer the life that you want and then select the right strategy. So let's move into actually putting that business plan together. So once you've done that, you've got clarity on what you need to do, you can start looking at what is going to be the best strategy that's going to get you there in the quickest, shortest space of time, and also the safest space of time as well. So it's very easy for us to do what we think is simple and easy, but actually what we sometimes need to do is do the things that are going to get us there quicker. I'm a big fan of using the law of least effort. How can we get there in the quickest, shortest space of time? Sometimes you might choose an easy strategy, but it's going to take you a long, long time to get there. Other times you might need to choose the right strategy that's going to get you the lifestyle that you need to do, but there's a learning curve that you need to go on to brush up your skills. So you're going to need to find out what that is, get real clear on that, and then you're going to need to start putting in the steps and stages and structure things. A huge problem that people have is they know all the different strategies that are out there, but they don't know how to put that into a business plan so they can execute it and go forwards. So, for example, so sometimes when people come to me, the first thing I get them to do is get clear on what they want to do. So I teach them the Code Reaching Excellence principles of the 4 phases of implementation. We go through a process of them creating their compelling lifestyle and that vision for their life. And then we go through the process of saying, okay, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? What figure do you need to earn? Okay, how much time do you have available given the fact that you might run a business or you might have a job? How can we find that time for you? And what's going to be the best way for you to find the right kind of deals that are going to work for you? I then help them to find the best way to do that. Sometimes that's going to be going through estate agents. Other times I teach people how to go through direct to vendor marketing to find those right kind of deals that are from motivated sellers. The next thing you need to look at is, are you mortgageable? Are you able to get funding? And if you haven't, or if you're not, then you need to do things to prepare yourself to get yourself mortgage ready. So one of the things I do is I get my clients to go and have a chat with Peter van der Venning, who's our in-house broker, and he can get them mortgage ready. The next thing you need to do is, do you have the resources? Do you have the financial resources to do this? If you have, then great. If not, you then need to look at, what do I need to do to be able to raise finance? Who do I need to speak to? Do I need to raise my kind of personal branding and my profiling? Do I look right online? Am I in a position where I can start borrowing money and getting either fixed rate returns or getting joint ventures with people who can help me to grow that portfolio quickly and achieve my life goals? And the final thing you need to do is a skills gap analysis. What are the skills that I need to do or need to learn in order for me to be able to implement and execute the right strategies that are going to get me the lifestyle that I want? And this is something that you might need to either work out yourself or sometimes go to a good mentor who can give you the ideas or give you that strategy so you know exactly what to do. So that's how you need to be building a real estate business plan. And it's got to be supporting the vision that you want for your life. Now, guys, one of the biggest problems that people have is executing. If you want to find out more about that, there'll be a link in the description as to an online training that we've got The other thing that you can do is you can book a strategy call with me where I can help you to figure out what you need to do, and also on that strategy call I can give you some advice as to where to go forward. Also, if I think you're going to be a right fit for the academy, then I might invite you into that. So guys, there you have it, the 3 things that you need to know in order for you to build a real estate planning plan. You're going to need to create that compelling vision for life. You're going to need to understand the 4 phases of implementation so you can develop the right mindset and the psychology, and also you can overcome that resistance. And then you need to select the right strategy that's going to work for you. You're then going to need to come up with a step-by-step action plan that's going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. Like I say, if you need any help with that, then drop me a line. So guys, I hope you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe, put your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. Bye for now.